Mr. Freund, as a trade promotion organization, can you please share with us the kind of initiative or instrument that your organization has put in place to better understand the need of your clients? And I would also say connect with others, because it's about really connections. Please.
Thank you. Well, thank you. We only have 6 offices across the country. We would love to have more as our friend company. These companies, which work with a macro-regional scope, has as a mission to identify and understand the needs of the companies across the country, including the rural areas. The first thing they have to do is identify which are the local partners that can help us provide or deliver the services the companies producers are needing. What we do is, once we have identified these key actors, is gather them together and work with them to develop, for each of the regions, a strategic export development plan. So this document helps to put together the private and public initiative in order to tackle the bottlenecks that we have identified in the companies and producers in order to successfully access the international market. When I learned which was the topic of this session, I was delighted, because during the last years, one of our strategies has been exactly supporting and strengthening the local trade support institutions. We have understand that, and I will make a parenthesis here, Peru is a very highly concentrated, centralized country. Almost 1/3 of the population, and probably a bigger number when we speak about companies, are located in the capital. So we've learned that the companies and the actors in regions don't want to hear what they should do or they need from the actors from the capital. They like to be included in this process of developing their own strategy, their own plans and activities to make more competitive the companies in the regions. And when we talk about these actors, we're talking about public actors, like the local or regional governments. When we talk about the private, we're talking about the producers or exporters associations, the chambers of commerce, etc. And as well the academia, universities and technical schools are also very important in this process of enhancing the competitiveness of the companies. I would like to complement the question,
yes, please.
Question you made before.
Yeah.
Besides the operational and financial problems that company faces, we have learned that rural companies have something in common. That is that their production is limited, and I mean they have a small production scale, which is a problem we face when we are trying to access the international market, because they can have a very nice product, but when they are asked to send 40 containers of a product, of a standardized product, they won't be able to provide that order. So among the services, and we can go further with this in the next questions, one of the services we provide to these companies are programs that aim to create associations, producers associations, which will be able to have a large scale of production, which will probably lower the cost, and we also try to standardize the product so they can reach this big demand from the international market. Besides this, the the other problem the companies are facing, which we are trying to solve with technical assistance, has to do with the production process itself. And we have two kind of levels. We have the technical production levels, and we also have some management skills problems the company faces. The other question you raised before was about the clients, the international market clients. And that is a very important issue, because the big companies, they usually have their own market intelligence department. They know the market same or sometimes better than the TPOs. But this doesn't happen with smaller companies. So what we try to do with our programs is to fill this gap and make these companies, which are probably not the best clients for a bank, and help them develop an export or business plan, so they can go to a bank and be suitable to receive a loan and facilitate their access to the international market.
Absolutely, very, very, very important. And I think it's not only about access to information, not only about access to export readiness, what I would call export readiness, but it's also about having a competitive process which help them minimize the transaction cost in order to really be able to compete and be competitive. And in that regard, trade support institutions has a critical role to play. And I have seen that you have taken that really into account. But then how do you deal with the others? Let's call them packaging institute, standard bodies, chambers of commerce, other players which are having the same objective or ambition than you, targeting those same clientele. How do you deal with that need for coordination?
Yes. It's not an easy process. The first thing we have to do is identify in each region, in each local area, whom are the best partners who have the same objectives as we have.
Yes, you do.
No? Once we have identified who are the ones we can work with, we try to find which are their strengths in specific topics, and well, a step before, we have like standardized the methodology to deliver the services, and we share it with them so they can deliver the needed services, the needed programs to the local companies, assuring a minimal level of quality. Because we don't want to deliver the services from Lima, from the capital. We want to strengthen the capacities of the local actors, so at some point we can focus of the companies which are in our scope of action and let these local actors take care of the needs of their own clients, let's say it.
Absolutely. And through what reporting mechanism you can assure from the capital that those connections are really happening? Because we are talking here about rural areas. How do you ensure that connection? And I want to throw the same, before coming to the floor, the same question to my other panelists, because it's critical, I think, really, that the effectiveness of our services, which are decentralized services, it's important, I think, that we can afterwards assure that they are effective through a reporting mechanism. What have you put in place on that regard?
Yes, I totally agree. Well, the formal way is to sign an agreement with the local actors. But we know that this is not enough. That is why we have first standardized a methodology, and then we have gone through a training of trainers process. So we start strengthening these capacities in the local actors, and here our decentralized offices have a very important role, because they are the ones which are closer to these actors, and they are the ones who ensure that the services are delivered according to the levels, the minimum levels we expect them to be delivered.
Great.
So even though we have headquarters in the capital, these branch offices not only are in charge of identifying and being a coordination instance in the regions, but also they monitor and follow up which are the actions that the local actors are taking in order to provide the services to the companies.
Very important, which is about, really showing effective value for money of our services. What does it mean?